but this story isn't about her. When I was pregnant with my first son, we moved away from my mom. It was kind of hard. But in my ward, all of a sudden there was Nana Hansen, this wonderful, sweet sister that was basically my mom's age, but she was my visiting teacher. And she was my mom. And she was my kids' grandkids. And it was just such a blessing to have someone that chose to be my mom and chose to be my kids' grandkids. We're so lucky to have the church.
Yes, we are. Thank you. Great. Great example. Anyone else? Your thinking cap's on because we have 15 minutes. Yes.
Well, I would have to say my sister. She never married, but she has mothered all of us. All of my nieces and nephews, my kids. She lives in Provo, so when they go to school, she was there, and they'd order a house. She mothered all of them, and they're all her kids.
Yeah.
So we big deal.
An aunt, I have an aunt like that as well. She never married, and she was always there when we were growing up. It was kind of like a second mom to us, and I really appreciate that. Anyone else?
Yes. I just had thoughts of a sweet lady who used to be in this ward long ago. Probably not many of you remember her. Nina Flanagan. She lived right across the street from us. And my mother died just a few months after we were married. So when we started having a family, Gordon's mother was there, but she lived in Miami. We see them occasionally. But Nina Flanagan was always across the street from here, and I could walk over and sit and talk to her. And she was as proud of my baby as I was. It was really special to have a mother figure to share with you. You couldn't share with your own mother.
Okay, well, I just got back from my first year of college, and being away from home for the first time made me really appreciate my mom so much more than I ever did when I actually lived with her. And it's just really an eye-opener to be on your own and to realize how much your mom actually does for you. And while I was up there, it just made me want to be a better person because I wanted everybody else to know that my mom raised me well and that I was a good person before.
Thank you. Other thoughts?
Oh, I was just listening to this song of Sisters in Zion. It says, "The errand of angels is given to women." And I think women do have a little bit more charity than men, even though we raise men to have charity. And it's really a gift that we have. I think we feel the charity a little bit more than maybe men do. I think men are taught charity, but I think we have charity. So I really love that idea that it is given to us to have that. I have an example. I've had many visiting teachers, and they have all taken such good care of me. I just love my visiting teachers. And I remember one, Marge Tall was my visiting teacher once, and I had gone through a really bad situation in my family where I had about 5 events where each one of my children had very bad things happen to them. Hit by a car, appendicitis when they're 4 years old in ICU, and all kinds of things. And she came over many times and brought me food and, things because I was in the hospital so much with my kids. And this one time she brought, it was just amazing, she brought this beautiful tablecloth. She brought candles. It was like a restaurant, a beautiful restaurant. And I just remember that so well because she was trying to help us be, that everything was beautiful. And my husband and I sat down, we just cried at the whole thing because we couldn't help it. She turned off all the lights and lit the candles. And we were just sitting there And it was a wonderful thing that, I just remember that particular thing, and even though she took care of us the rest of the time, that particular thing was just so good when you're so stressed for all these things that are happening in your life, and all of a sudden you're just there, and it's peaceful, and you're going, what happened? This is wonderful. And a lot of you know Marge Tall, so I'm great. I know that there's a lot of people in here that know her. So that was a wonderful thing she did for me.
Anyone else? Yeah.
I just have to stand up and share with you how lucky I am to have the mom I do. We've had a lot of challenging times in our life. And to be able to watch my mom in times of our own need serve others. No matter when I walk in, there's something cooking. She's got dinner going here. She's got a to-go platter there. And I'm grateful to have been raised with a mother who has taught me that you can never do enough for others. And through the times that I've had in my life, she's the one person that I can always count. And I'm grateful.
I'm glad today's been a lot about paying tribute to just strong women. And a lot of you know my sister Beth, but I think a lot of you don't know that for the past 4 years since my brother's wife's been gone, she goes over to his house every morning and takes care of the kids and gets them ready for school and feeds them breakfast, makes them lunch. For a while she would pick them up at school afterwards as her work schedule allowed. She lives with my parents. She takes care of my mom, who's bedridden, and I'm just in awe. I'm always in awe. And I think there's been times over our life, I'm the big sister and she's the baby, and she's said to me so many times how she admires me, and I think to myself, how in the world can you? You're everything to me. And so I just think people serve quietly and people don't know about it.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Okay, so I was gonna add one little thing. Since she started it, I was gonna say, I did want to thank almost everybody in here because I don't know anybody, and I did just move here, but there are a few women in this room, and since she already started it, Paula is one of them, Sandra Parker is one of them, Chris Woods. I just love you. You've been nothing but sweet to me since I got here. I think of you all as nothing but my own family already. Every time I've needed anything, I don't know anybody here, I can call any of them. Chris is like my go-to for the most ridiculous questions in the world. Let me tell you. Thank you for being nothing but sweet to me, all of you.
I have to reflect on my mother many times. You know, we came from Holland when I was just a 9-year-old. We were very, very poor. We had to survive World War II, lost everything. And she came with my daddy, who had escaped from a German labor camp. And we were able to come to the United States. Poor as church mice, literally, very, very poor. But with family love that superseded everything. There was the time we'd walk down to the corner to buy our 10-cent loaf of bread. It was a thrill. It was a time when I was invited to a birthday party and I could only shop for maybe 5-cent pencils, only to learn that at the birthday party people were much more extravagant. But there was love in our home regardless, and a mother who was always optimistic, always had a smile on her face and was the sunshine in our life. I have to recall my first day of teaching school. I came home, Mom says, how was your first day, Paula? I said, oh, Mother, you should meet Naomi and Greg. They were just so darling. And she says, but Paula, did you notice the child in the back of the room who might not have been the prettiest, may not have been the most gregarious,